Okay. I'll just give them a few minutes. Okay. Hey, Christina. So, how was your day, Holly?
It's pretty good.
Good.
This week is my first week back in the office after having worked from home for
How long? How long were you home?
The middle of March until basically this week. And so it's been nice to kind of get back into a routine a little bit.
Yeah. I think at first it seemed like it was kind of, and I work at home anyways, but at first it seemed like, oh, yay, everyone's home. But then it seems like going to work and having that official workplace makes things a whole lot different, more organized.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I for sure missed human interaction.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm missing.
It's been nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And because it's the same people that you see, at home. So it's a little different. Yeah. Hey, Teresa and Lorianda, Victoria.
Hi, guys.
Okay, so everybody, this is Holly. Holly is with Vivint, and she is here to talk about safety with us. So let's wait another minute or two, and yeah. Hi, Kenyana. So how is everybody today going into the weekend? Are you still sheltering in place? Hi, Michelle. Okay, so again, this is Holly. Holly is from Vivint, and Holly has a lot of information on safety. Thank you for joining us today, Holly. We really appreciate your time and the knowledge you'll be sharing with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat with you.
Thank you. So everybody here, we all know that, and Holly, a major concern, which you're familiar with, autism and safety. We have some concerns as far as safety and our loved ones, our children specifically on the spectrum. They have eloping issues, wandering, just so my daughter's a teenager. She wants time by herself, but she still needs that supervision, but she likes to be off by herself in the house. So supervision still is important. So that's the thing. Door alarms, door alerts when, whether they're inside doors, outside doors, safety issues as far as answering the door, knowing who's at the door before you open the door. Even for us, because we can see somebody at the door before we open it, but without certain things, you open the door and your child or your loved one might be there and may not be able to react as quickly as you can, knowing what the situation, could be dangerous. So there is so many safety issues and concerns with our kids, our loved ones on the spectrum, that it's way too many to list. It's just I posted a poll in the group, and I thought I put, I cleared them all, but no, the list has grown and grown and grown. Just because everybody, the spectrum is so wide and varied that everybody, may be dealing with different issues.
Right. Well, and I think everything that you went through as concerns, so I work with the Foundation for Vivint Gives Back, and our focus for the last 5 years has been in the autism community. And when we first kind of started to embark on, getting involved with the community and learning about families that had a child with autism, one of the things that was really, really interesting to me is we did a survey of families that had a child with autism, and they rated their stress level an 8.27 out of 10, which has been and is compared. There's a study done by National Autism Association, and they compare stress level of a parent of a child with autism to that of a soldier in combat. And so I say that to you guys, and you all nod your heads and yes, that makes sense. And naively, 5 or 6 years ago, I did not understand that. But one of the coolest things for us was to see, after a family has smart home technology in place, they would rate their stress level to 4.25 out of 10. So almost cut in half. And so I started looking at, trying to understand this. Why would this be this way? And it was interesting that like every decision for these families that we're working with, that we're talking about, every decision can be life and death, which, I mean, is really, really, if you think about living with that all the time, which you do, and you know what that is, man, for us, it's let us get you the technology to take that stress level down if possible. So I think for us, it's about understanding and, hearing all of those concerns and how can we help? So.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure everyone can agree that, the stress level is, oh my goodness. I mean, you're constantly worried. And then when something does happen, that worry is on top of, the normal worry that could happen. Then once it happens, then will it happen again? And how can I prevent it? And you're just constantly thinking, and you're trying to stay 2 steps ahead in thought of your child or loved one on the spectrum. And you're trying to look through the eyes of them, like they say, like when you have a toddler, get down, or a baby who starts crawling, to get down and crawl around and see the hazards. So you're constantly looking around and wondering what hazards are in your home, or what hazards are there that, can lead to a dangerous situation for your loved one on the spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the stress of that, because like I said, you always have to stay ahead of them.
Yeah. And I think, again, when we started down this path of really getting to know what autism is for families and for parents, I was in just a group of moms and a couple dads, but mostly moms. And they were kind of talking about their experience with smart home technology. And one of the moms said, hey, for the first time ever since my child has been born, I can take a shower for longer than 30 seconds. And I, again, am going to say that, and you guys are, everybody will know what that is. But I think for me, I was like, what can you even get done in 30 seconds in the shower? You guys know that you can do everything in the shower in 30 seconds. But for me, and that's just kind of a funny example of like, being able to watch your child while you shower, set your iPad up and watch your child watch TV, and just that peace of mind of knowing, okay, I can be in the other room for just a few minutes while I take a shower. That's, it's a big deal.
So. Yes. It really is. It's just like, when you have a toddler, and you're they need constant supervision. And you not to say that we go back to that, because we've always lived, in this level of safety and supervision. But for somebody who's not dealing with somebody on the spectrum, that's the level that we're at. We're at constant supervision. You have a second to go do something. And I can say, for one, the cameras, the in-home cameras, I I mean, we went and we bought another one because they're just so beneficial. Like we can check on her, and so my daughter tends to be like, so she may go into a room and you may go in there as well, and she might get up and leave because she wants her time.
Right.
So checking on her and not disturbing her or disrupting what she's doing, the cameras are awesome. Or we've been using the camera lately to see her night sleeping habits because school and everything is so different right now. And so we can see what time she went to sleep, how long she was awake, you know, and we can constantly check in on her. And she's a very light sleeper. So we can check in on her without disturbing her. And I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the coolest examples of our camera being used for that purpose of monitoring kind of in room. We had a family that had been trying to capture their child's seizures on video and had stayed in the hospital for a couple weeks to try and catch the seizure. Of course, the seizures didn't happen while they were in the hospital. But within the first couple of days, they were able to catch the seizure, send the footage, pull the clips down, send the footage to the doctor, and able to adjust medicines for that. And then one other thing that they found was their son, who's 12 at the time, was getting up in the middle of the night and eating their chocolate bar stash and then stuffing the wrappers under his mattress. And mom thought dad was doing it because he was stressed. Dad thought mom was doing it because she was stressed. So neither one said anything to respect the other. And it was actually their 12-year-old that had been eating the chocolate. So that was a funny, another funny byproduct, but really being able to capture that footage and send it to their neurologist was game-changing, life-changing for them. Anyway, and I think like as you go through and kind of list the concerns that you have on a day-to-day basis, I think it's so interesting because when we are installing a system for a family that has a child with autism, one of the things that I think is interesting is a typical security system is meant to keep people out. We're helping to build these systems to help you keep people in and understand what's going on inside of your house. And typically, we'll use a door window sensor on an interior door, like a bedroom door or a bathroom door or a pantry. And so that you can get notifications if any of those interior doors are opened, which I think is a really, really helpful thing to have, just that little heads up that, okay, bedroom door is open. Let's go get him before he makes it outside in the middle of the night, or, those type of notifications. I think, providing that 5 extra seconds of notification is huge.
Yeah, it's, I've seen questions about that, I've seen pictures in the group as far as my child wakes up every morning really early, before I do, and I don't know what to do, and they showed pictures of what the kid gets into, and things are everywhere. And that was a situation where it was that would be a good choice, is to have the indoor alarms. And this week, I believe it was maybe 3 or 4 days ago, somebody posted the question, do they feel like what was it, that they feel like they live in a, I forgot how they exactly said it, but it was like almost like everything they did they had to be careful. I forgot what the word was that they used, but like they felt like they were in like a security, like a in like where they're always having to set up certain things, whereas and you're sitting there and you're I think they said in a prison, where everything is set a certain way. Now I understand what they mean, because you have to do certain things and you have certain setups and stuff, for your child. But with Vivin, I feel like we're secure, but I don't feel like I'm in a prison. I feel like, okay, I don't feel like I have to go undo this and I have to go do this. And I don't feel like there's so many mechanisms that I have to do, but I know that there's alerts when I need them. I can go back and search, the cameras if I need to. So I don't feel like I'm a prison in my home. I feel like I'm secure in my home. It's a little different, or it's a lot different, really. But
and I think like going back to, you said something like that your daughter, if she leaves the house, and I think I read a comment also that two boys had gone outside even while we've been on this call.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
But I think one of the things that is really cool is if the front door or the back door opens, the panel that you have in your main central location will actually say front door open or back door open. So it gives you that, okay, I know which way to run, rather than having to wait to find that that the child's gone outside. It's okay, exactly. I know I have to go to the front door right now.
Exactly, yes.
Which I think, like, as you're talking about, when you're talking about seconds or minutes, they all matter. If your child gets outside, 10 seconds matters, 5 seconds matters immensely. And so I think that for me, like, as we look at what we do, is like, it's providing those 5 seconds, which can be life-saving. And I think, like, obviously I've told you some funny little stories, but like, when you get down to the core of it, it's this provides time and like peace of mind that's life-saving. So
exactly, yes. I agree with that. And if they were to make it outside, the outside cameras will alert you. You'll get, if you have a watch, it'll alert you on your watch, on your phone. You will hear it on the panel. There's just, I just love the safety and the alerts that it gives you. So like, if you have a pool in the backyard, and you can have the security gates and everything, but if you have other children or somebody who leaves that gate open, of course you need to know this right away. The system is just so, it helps me relax, and think, okay, I have a okay situation going on. There was a time my daughter came home from school. Her bus got here before my husband and myself got here, and they're not supposed to let her off of the bus. She got off the bus, and we got the alert from the camera that she's home. We're not home. So we're both, downtown, rushing like, oh my goodness, her bus is there. Oh my goodness, we could see that the bus left. So we're like, oh my goodness, where's Emily, right? So she went into the house, she shut the door, because we could see that the doorbell camera, we could see, okay, she went in, she shut the door. We could hear her in the house, in the kitchen going, the camera's not that way, so we couldn't see her, but we could hear her getting a snack. So we could hear, so we knew she was safely in the house. And it must have been maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but we were like dying because, they're not supposed to leave her, but they did, unfortunately. But we were able to check on her.
That's what I was going to say, but yeah, imagine that 2 to 3 minutes if you didn't know any of that. Like, that, I think, illustrates like what the technology does for you, is like being able to like check in and even listen. Man, that's huge. And know that she got in the house okay, and being able to see that. And then also maybe have a stern conversation with the bus driver.
Exactly. Because it's on camera too, it's not like I didn't do it. Well, and there were no cars here, but that's a definite. And being able to talk to her, we knew that what she was getting, we knew she was getting a snack and everything, so it was good. But had it gone a certain way, or she was running around crying, looking for us, then we could have, talked to her through the camera. Emily was be there in a second. And like I said, we were each around the corner, but, by that time, but still, that's not a situation you want to happen. So, So yeah, so there's many things. Kenyana asked, does it work with the Ring doorbell?
So it does not integrate with the Ring doorbell camera, but we, Vivint, have a doorbell camera. So
yes, and I love my my kids use it. My older kids, because I have adult kids, they have the contactless delivery now. So they're like, did they leave it? Okay, where'd they leave it at? Okay, did you guys hear their alert? And they'll check the panel to see when they're gone to go out. I mean, it's just, I love the camera. Between that and then the driveway camera, I almost think we use the doorbell one more, but it's just, I don't know how I would go back to not having it. It's just a good thing. Also, if you want to maybe explain some of the different things that Vivint has.
Yeah, yep. So I think so one of the things that we have first and foremost is kind of it's a panel, it's a hub for everything. And we've talked about it, that you can go and look at the panel, but this is what actually controls your home, and you can go and look at your cameras through this. That you can also do it through the app, but that is kind of the interface of the house. And with that, then there are included in kind of a basic package, there are 6 kind of points of protection, which I talked about. These are the door and window sensors that notify you if doors or windows are open. We also have motion detectors, and then door locks. We haven't even touched on those yet. But door locks, I think, are so great. I assume, did Emily put in her code to get in the house, or did you guys unlock it for her?
No, my son works graveyard. He was sleeping. And so when I left, I knew this, but I also knew that I had the cameras and everything. So of course I'm like, I'm just running out, and so I left the door open.
Okay.
And so that day it worked out really well, but because I had my cameras and everything, I didn't get an alert if somebody comes up here. So
for sure. So I think the door locks are really nice, because so for me personally, just on a personal note, I forever forget to lock my doors. It's just maybe built into my DNA. So I think, I forever forget to do it. So I have it automatically set up to lock if I've been gone a certain amount of time. So that's really helpful for me personally. But then you can check and do that from your phone and from the app. But then another kind of application of door locks is if you have therapists or people coming in and out of your caregivers coming in and out of your home, you can assign a different lock code to them for them to get into the house. If that's something that you would want to do, is to have them come in and out. But yeah, for me, I think it's remembering to lock my doors. I never but and then, man, if we're the cameras, geez, yeah, the cameras, both interior and exterior. With the families that I've worked with over the years, and it's in the thousands at this point, but these are the game changers for day-to-day life. Is just that that feeling like you can go to a different room, even if it's 5 minutes or a couple minutes, or allowing that independence, that again, because it's such a spectrum, everybody will use the camera differently, but that interior camera, and you alluded to this, there's a 2-way talk system on that camera, that you can actually hit a button on the top of the camera and it calls you. So that's how my 12-year-old uses our camera. We've decided he doesn't have a cell phone yet. So he'll use the ping camera to call out to us, and then I can use it to talk into him. And so I use that to say like, hey, what are you doing? And I think that's something that could be utilized and is utilized also at night with kids. If it's like a friendly reminder to get back into bed, or, you know, those sort of things. But I think, yeah, both the interior and exterior cameras are just a game changer for that peace of mind.
Yeah, I agree. What I like about the camera, what I do often is we'll turn the camera on our phone or device, and the whole time. So she's supervised, but she, you know, so normally you're like, okay, I might have 5 minutes and then I have to rush back in there. But with the camera on, you're still supervising, you still see her, and then you understand like, okay, now I need to get in there, or she's fine, you know, and you're not rushing back to a situation where she can have her space and she can have her time because everything is going okay. Because you can see literally what you would be seeing if you were in there with her. So it's really, I don't know. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I like is the camera. Like I'll check in on her, you know, I'll tell her good night. I'll tell, you know, good night, Emily, love you, you know, over the camera. I'll see if she's sleeping, you know, we'll see if she's awake yet. Like I said, without disrupting her. But yeah, I love that. It's like an intercom. It literally is like an intercom. Yeah, I love that.
And I think another thing, I said this about caregivers earlier, but that's another thing that a lot of the families that we work with, that if you have in-home therapies happening, it allows you the chance to kind of look in on what is happening and both monitor it, one, and then two, kind of learn from that situation and see, you know, how your child is reacting and what things you can learn from the therapist and what they're doing. So it acts as kind of that nanny cam, or, you know, being able to look in there too. So.
When I was getting my alarm, Steve, he shared his from his home in Utah. He's here in California, but he turns it on and he's like, so there's my nanny with my child right now. And, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. But, you know, and the same thing, we have providers come in and care for our children, respite providers, you know, and a lot of our children, loved ones on the spectrum may not be verbal. And if they're verbal, may not be conversational enough to be able to tell you. Like, for instance, my daughter, she would not tell me how things went, you know, things like that, but I can check. And same thing with ABA, with therapists. I can check in on the appointment without disrupting her. And children act different for their therapists and their techs than their parents.
Correct.
So I don't want to go there and change the whole dynamic. So I just turn on the camera. I can hear, or I can, even if something went wrong, you know, like Emily had a meltdown or something during therapy, I can go back and I can play and say, oh, okay, well, she has a hard time transitioning to this. But I do love that option.
Yeah. And I think, like, if we go back to like what it's all about, I mean, that is just peace of mind. That's just knowing and being able to have control over your life, your home, and making life just a little bit more simple, which I think is awesome.
Yes, for sure. And so let me see. So yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just like I said, I don't think I can go back to. I mean, I feel spoiled, but at the same time, I know that I can relax and I can relax and kind of let out, you know. And I definitely see the difference from what you say was like over 8, and then now it's like down near 4 as far as the stress levels. I can see. I definitely can see that and relate with that. So yeah, it's a definite. Let me see. Somebody said something. The door lock. That's what I was going to ask. So the door lock has a pin that you put in. Person. And so that's a good way. So I don't know. So I don't know that Emily would remember she had a key on her, or that she would be strong enough to unlock our door. Our door is kind of, kind of funny,
Yeah.
but I know that she may have a difficult time which way to turn it, but that would be a perfect thing because she can remember the numbers and the pins,
Yeah.
really easily, and we can just let her know, and that would be a very good, convenient thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that you could unlock it from your phone if she was
That's
there.
True.
Like you could do it, and help with that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing I love is that if I had to do that, I could have even said through the doorbell cam, Emily, okay, go in the house, and talk right there through there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has so many things, and I don't even have like every, thing on my system. And yeah, it's been just awesome. Yeah. So, I don't know how much you touched on autism, as far as Vivint has been involved with autism before, as far as the cause.
Yes. Yep. So I touched on it really briefly, but as a foundation I said last year, that's not true, 5 years ago. But as a foundation, as we got those results back from is regarding the stress levels, we as a foundation really put in a lot of time and money with the autism community. One, to learn, but two, to really support. This was, as we learned a little bit more, this I feel like the autism community as a whole is really underserved. And so we went and partnered with local organizations and national organizations to work and support the community in various ways. One of the ways is we as a company with our employees as volunteers installed sensory rooms in schools and homes really around the world. And that was a really, really neat opportunity for us to get to know the needs and the challenges and what day-to-day life is like, and get to know these kids that we're working with. Because, man, some of my favorite kids in the entire world are a part of this community. And so anyway, so our work has been on the foundation side has been focused in that community with the grassroots organizations giving back. So did I answer that question?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I just wanted, I knew I couldn't explain it like you. So, but yeah, when I was getting my alarm and Steve told me that, Steve was the salesperson I had, when he told me that about Vivint and autism, so we said, yeah, things are vital because our daughter's on the spectrum and we need certain things. And when he said that, I was like, oh my goodness, I was like, I didn't know that there was like, I didn't think that there would be a big commercial name like that would have such a specific interest in autism and autism safety. So yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, I have the right company. It was like right away. It was, it was just, I was really excited about that. And that's the thing is that I want to be able to, we see so many questions come through about safety, about eloping, so many things that we're constantly worried about. And so that's what my whole intention here is, to bring the safety ideas, the safety system to, our peers, the other, my peers that are, raising somebody on the spectrum, or they're caring for somebody on the spectrum, because I know how it has helped me. So I want to be able to have other people feel that same peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and I think because Steve is the one that connected us, and I think that for us is as many families as we can help protect, as many kids that we can help protect. Man, let's go do that. And I think that's one of the reasons I was excited to be on with you.
Thank you for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's as many people that we can bring peace of mind to, and especially in this community, let's go out and do that.
Yes. And it's unfortunate, but when our children tend to elope, it turns out they're attracted to water. They're naive. They tend to be more on the naive side, or even the younger side. Even if the mentality is younger, but it makes the world a hazardous place for them. And unfortunately, a lot of the kids, when you find out that somebody on the spectrum has eloped, it doesn't turn out good. It's often, more often than not, you're reading about a bad situation, a tragic situation. So it is important to prevent that. We've, posted several posters of people looking, for their loved ones, and it's way too often that we're hearing back something tragic has happened.
Absolutely.
It's the key is prevention, to prevent it from happening, and not allowing it to happen and hoping for the best. If we start with the prevention, maybe we can, catch it before it happens.
Well, and it kind of makes me think, and I think in our first conversation, I told you this story, and this has kind of shaped my view on the safety and my view on what we can do. And but really, really soon after we got involved with the autism community, we were introduced to a family who had a 3-year-old little girl whose mom put her to bed, and mom was in the kitchen cleaning up, such a simple thing, like in the kitchen cleaning up dinner, and she heard something in her daughter's room, just a noise, and so sprinted down the hall. As she opened the door, she saw that her daughter had opened her window and kicked out the screen, and so she was climbing out of it's her first story window. But as her mom got to the window, the little girl ran across the lawn and was hit by a car, and had to have several surgeries after that. And I think for me, I keep going back to 5 seconds, but like, mom just needed a notification that her window was open, and that is a different story. Like that situation turns out completely different if there is that preventative measure, just that, hey, bedroom window open. And it's such a different outcome. So what you're talking about, prevention, this story kind of has shaped like my interaction with the community, is thinking about just allowing for that, that couple of, just that warning, that early warning to save lives or make lives better, change lives. I think that when you get down to the very, very basics of what we do, like the cameras are so incredible, but the sensors of just that notification, that is at the very base of what we do. That's it. It's just that prevention, exactly what you said.
Yes. Prevention is key. And I remember when you told me that story, and I was thinking it is those few seconds, make a difference. She was able to see her going out the window, right? The last second.
Yeah.
But she had the alert. She may not have even, as soon as the window opened, like, so we open our back door, and as soon as you open it, back door, and it gives you notification. So, instantly. So she instantly would have known she was out of bed, and she wouldn't have had to wait for the sound. She would have actually heard the ping on the window, the notification from the
And
voice.
I think, again, you said like this story turns out okay because she, had surgeries and was able to go on and be okay. But so many of these stories of elopement do not end that way. And so I think as often as we can help prevent that, I mean, we have an obligation to do that. So
yes. Because if you, I mean, in 10 to 15 minutes, how far away could they get?
Right. Yeah.
Yes. And even had she had a camera, she could have been, working in the kitchen, glancing at the camera.
Exactly. There's so many applications. And I think like, a lot of the kids that I know, you talk about 10 to 15 minutes, how far away. A lot of the kids that I know that have autism are some of the fastest runners I know.
Yes. And that's the thing, they are running. They're not just walking, they're running.
No, they're running. They're out of, they're out. And I think like, again, as I would say this, and everybody knows this, everybody would agree with it, but, not being able to communicate, where home is, or, have understand danger, cars.
Exactly. Yes.
I think that obviously increases the risk of something, tragic happening.
Yes. And then once you teach the safety, you have to be aware that they know what the street safety is. They know their address, but how are they overconfident with that information? So do they then start to think, I can go outside,
Yeah.
So, you still have to watch. There's so many, like I said, as a parent with somebody, with a daughter on the spectrum, you think of every angle, like, okay, what's her next move?
Time. I think of, I go back to, we had installed a sensory room in a home, a couple, maybe 4 years ago. And I was standing talking with this young boy's mom in their backyard, and we're standing in the backyard, and I watched him scale the 8-foot fence that they have around their house and hop over. And mom and I both had watched it, and we're like running to the other side, but I'm like, what? Like 8-foot fence, no problem. This is a 5-year-old boy. Incredible ability. But man, what a stressful time for his mom. So
I believe it. It reminds me of how they show like a mom, and they said that a mom saving her child has this extra strength. It's like when they want it. Like, we have somebody in the group, her son climbs everything, but when they want something, they will find a way.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just like they will find a way. My daughter escaped through a chained fence twice at school, and there was a playground on the other side of the fence.
That you wanted to get to.
Yes. So they couldn't get through the fence, so they had to drive around the block to the other side while she's there by herself. So somebody's watching through the fence. But when they want something, they will find a way. And the bigger that they get, the more accessible it becomes. And somebody said it here, that her son is 6, but really he's 6.5, but really he's 3. And so that's a whole nother thing. So like my daughter, she's 15, and I would say she's maybe, it depends on what we're working with, but I would say maybe 5 years old. So, but her size, she's a full-grown adult.
Right.
So, so if she wants to climb something, she wants to reach something, she can do it.
Right.
So that's the issue that many of us have, is they're adults. And just like somebody said too, they're strong. They will not, and they know this.
I just saw that.
They know this. But that's another concern too, is our kids getting outside and people not understanding, say if it's the police officers or other adults, not understanding that something is different, that they are on the spectrum, and that's why they're behaving the way they're behaving. So it's just, there's so many hazards out there, that we need to be concerned about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I forgot one thing that I really love about the cameras is you unplug it and you can move it to anywhere. Like, I love it. So if you put one in your child's room and you think, oh, but they need privacy, you're going to do the dishes, they're playing, or they're going to take a nap, but pop the camera in there and take it out when you're done with that situation. They're not mounted and screwed into the walls. They are wherever you put them.
Yeah.
So,
and they can be mounted if you wanted, like if you wanted a permanent camera somewhere, you absolutely can mount it. Like, but I don't know. Yeah, but I think that is awesome to be able to move them around.
I definitely, we definitely have done that. So, especially like say that we have somebody sitting with her and say that person's going to be over in this room more often, then we're going to switch it over that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Lorianda says, yes, they're smart and they study how to do it. They really do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you don't see them. Like, sometimes you think they're not watching you and they're not listening because they're not looking at you directly and they're not asking questions. But no, they've picked up the Nita. She was talking about CVS with her family, and they were talking about something they needed at CVS. And then she looks at her son's iPad and he's searching CVS. But he was near nonverbal, but he typed in there CVS to see what CVS was. But, nobody knew he was listening, but they're listening, they're watching, they're learning, they're thinking. Their social interaction is different.
Right.
They know what they're not going to express everything they're doing, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
So that is a concern.
That's a great point. Yeah, that is a great point. I think on that same point, that's been something with the front door, back door opening. Some kids really like that sound when it says front door or back door. So some parents have had to turn that off because kids will just stand at the front door and open and close it. So I think that's another thing that is great is everything can be customized to what your child needs, which I think is great. Your front door 50 times.
Yes, exactly. I think that's my favorite thing about Vivint is that it's everything is custom to what you need, and I don't feel like there's anything that I don't need. I don't feel like, oh, I'm not going to need that. I don't feel like there's anything on my system that it hasn't been useful or that I didn't want.
Yeah. I would actually say I feel the same way about mine personally.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah. It's not just like a basic system. So what we have done is we have set up a situation where we have a deal for we have a phone number with a promo code. The promo code is Autism and Us. And that is this number right here going across the bottom of the screen is specific to the promo and the code Autism and Us. So if anybody is interested in purchasing Vivint systems, you go to that, you call this phone number right here. Hold on, I'm waiting for it to come back around. You call 1-800-234-5678. And pretty easy number. Really easy number. So, and then be sure to mention Autism and Us as the code, and you will get the discount and the promo. And if you have any questions, it will be somebody who's informed about safety and autism and the things that we need on our systems.
And I think, Linda, I don't know if you said this, sorry if you did, and I'm just repeating it. The discount that we've set up is free installation on the system and then a free doorbell camera. And that's special for the Autism and Us community. So
hopefully, like I said, it's very important. It was very important to me to be able to Nita and I and Autism and Us to really get together with Vivint and to be able to provide something to the community that would hopefully make it easier for them to access safety for their families.
Yeah. And I think, and we've talked about this a little bit, but one other thing that we're going to do is, because we've been really impressed with what Autism and Us is doing in the community, we're going to take a portion of the proceeds from the sale and donate it back to Autism and Us in your community. So we're excited to be able to do that and partner with you guys in that way.
And we are so appreciative of that, and we thank you for noticing. And so to the parents, so it's something that you would be supporting Autism and Us, but you'd also be proactive in safety for your loved one on the spectrum. So, and that was the thing that we wanted to provide, was peace of mind, and to be able to keep this community for you existing, and the safe place that it is. So, yeah, so we just wanted to be able to bring you that, and hopefully everything was clear and precise. I'm pretty sure it was, but yeah, like I said, I can't stop raving over my system. And do you want to talk about what's involved? I mean, what's included in the system?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like choking.
Oh, no, sorry.
So with the system, you get the Sky Control panel, so the hub that I talked about, the interface. And then included in that are 6 points of protection. And then as you talk with a Smart Home Pro, when you call in, they'll really customize your system for you. So like you said, Linda, there's not anything that you don't use because your system is customized to you. And so similar to a kind of, we'll use a cell phone as an example, where you purchase that equipment and then you can either finance that or pay for it up front. That's kind of how all of the equipment is done, kind of a cell phone model. And then there is a monthly fee that keeps you connected to fire, police, medical, and then it's kind of a service fee. And so that, and all of that pricing is customized to the package that you get and the equipment that you get. And so yeah, when you call in to talk about your home and what your needs are, then you would get all of that pricing, but again, customized to you and your needs.
Okay, thank you. And Michelle asked, is there a monthly fee? I think so. Michelle, she kind of, yeah. So Michelle asked the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and the thing is too, if you finance the equipment, you can finance the equipment and do your monthly service charge together. So you do that together, and then once the equipment is paid off, then it drops down to just the monthly fee.
Exactly.
So financing is available for that, and yes, it's I can say that it's probably one of your most important purchases regarding your loved one. I could never sit here and think I'm not spending this money well. This isn't worth the safety. It's probably one of the most vital things that you'll be paying for to keep your loved ones safe. So,
I would agree with that.
Let's see. Kenyana, so when you buy the system, you have what was it, 6 points of protection?
Yep.
And is one of those, so the cameras can be counted in that, or?
The camera is not counted in that. That is like a door window sensor or motion sensor. Okay. Count for that. And then the cameras are a separate charge. And okay. I believe that an indoor camera is $199. And then the doorbell camera, I think, let me look it up really quick. Let me look so okay. I don't give you the wrong information. Okay. So give me just 1 second.
Okay. And the doorbell camera is one of the
doorbell camera you would actually get free. So
yeah, it's one of the freebies. Yes. And we have 3 cameras now, I believe, in my home. That's not counting the outside garage camera.
And
like I said, it's just, go ahead.
Sorry. And if you wanted to, I think we talked about this with Steve, but if you wanted to switch out, if somebody didn't want the doorbell camera, they felt like the indoor camera would work better for them, they could absolutely switch that out. So
Okay. Okay.
Just a note there.
Okay, that is good to know. That's a good one. Somebody said, can we set up the sound of a vacuum when you open the door? So certain people on the spectrum have little aversions to different sounds.
Yes.
That was but yeah, that was
that's
a good thing to do.
I like that.
I know. So, and the camera outside, I love it. It's but you don't call it infrared. What do you call that? The night vision, or you can see everything as good as like, I never have a problem.
Everything. Yeah. So I use my indoor camera as my baby monitor. For my 17-month-old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say it could literally be a baby monitor, or those monitors that they use for camera. They have camera systems that you put in your baby's room.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. Exactly. Yes.
I use mine as that. And one of the things, I'll just tell a quick personal story, but I talk through the camera to her and say, Stella, lay down, please, because she'll be singing in her crib, Let It Go a lot. So Stella, lay down, please. And she'll look directly at where the camera is, freeze, and then like tip over because she knows she's like been seen. And then anyway, and if she's like trying to get my attention in the morning, she'll like look at the camera and yell mama. So she either thinks the camera's her mom or I am. I don't know.
That's good that she knows that, though, because then she knows you're always somewhere, around, and you can see her and things like that. Yeah. So that is good. It's just so even the in-home cameras, like she was saying, so it was in the middle of the night and we had an earthquake, and we went back to play the earthquake to see what time it was and how long it was. And it looked like it was daytime in the room where the camera was, but all the lights were off and it was in the middle of the night. But that's how clear, like I can see my cats walking around and things like that on the cameras. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just like, I can't even say that to put a dollar amount on it is something, because it's something I have to have with my daughter, and gives me peace of mind. And it's something, of course, it's not going to, lock her in the house. It's not going to keep her in the house, but it's going to give me those notifications. And if I didn't have this system implemented and something were to happen, of course, it's going to be tragic, no matter what. But knowing that I tried, that I'm trying everything that I can, gives me that peace of mind. And, that, I know that, okay, my sister's not going to fail me. I'm going to have notification. She may be across the street by the time, and she's not that fast in the door. I'm not going to be that far. But even if she's, it's not like she's going to be 20 minutes down the street, depending on how quick I am, I should be right behind her. But the notifications, I can say that if something happened like that, it's not Vivid, it's me. But it's definitely going to give me the notifications. And it can get to the point, like we were working on our driveway the other day, and on our system, there's just so many dots back and forth on the driveway, because all the notifications, whenever there's activity on your camera, it'll leave a little piece, a little mark where there was activity. Yeah. So you almost get to the point like, okay, oh yeah, it's me again. Oh yeah. Every time I go to the car, I look at my watch like, oh, what's the alert? Oh, it took me months to figure out, like, okay, Linda, it's you getting in the car. But yeah, I love it. Yes, it's just, like I said too, the bus, the bus, I have the video, of the bus. So that's good that, she was blessed. Let me see, doorbell camera. And can you buy parts of a system, or do you have to buy an entire system?
So currently, in 6 months or let's say a year, you'll be able to buy parts of the system. Currently, it's the system that you need to purchase.
Okay,
so
down the road that might be an option.
I wouldn't even say a year, shorter time frame than that, but it'll be a little bit, yeah.
Okay, it's on the horizon.
Yes.
Okay, Michelle. So look for that. Yes, and is it complicated to use? Not computer savvy at all. No, I would say. Let me go to my system dashboard.
I would say my dad isn't computer savvy at all or tech savvy at all. And he uses his system really well and is able to do it and navigate it. And so I would say it's pretty simple to use, but yeah, if you want to show.
I was trying to remember what the options were when you open the system. And so on the bottom is, so right when I open it, I can see that my system is disarmed and the sliding door is open. And that's just simply reading what's on there. But then I push cameras and it goes to each room. So it goes to my driveway, my doorbell, and the 2 rooms that I have cameras. So it's as simple as that. And then if I were to click on one of these, it would just start to play. There's a little arrow to play, and you can select go live right there on the screen as well. And so the options, I mean, it's, and then right here, it just continues to the driveway. So it's really simple. Right here across the bottom, you click on camera, and you have all your things right there. It shows that the system is disarmed. It's so clear and self-explanatory that so I'm not going to say I understand the system because I'm tech savvy. I understand the system because it's really all laid out for you. So it's not difficult at all. And whether it's on your phone or on the panel to me seems more like you're not switching screens, as much like on my phone, like I have to open the app and do all that. You just walk to the panel and you could click on camera and see instantly.
Right. Yeah. I actually just opened my Vivint app. It made me think of something. Do you guys have the thermostat
no.
connected to yours?
I don't think we did that one.
That's another option that is really great. Is just it's called our Element thermostat, but it's a similar to like a Nest thermostat. It's a learning thermostat, so it is energy management. So like anytime you leave your home and arm it away, it would turn the temperature up or down to be able to turn the air or heat off. And then right before you got home, you could say, okay, I'm almost home. Let's turn the heat on. It's got vacation mode. So it's learning, which I think that is not as much a safety thing as much as it is obviously energy management and comfort. We hadn't talked about that at all. And I had just opened my app and saw my air was on at my house. So
yes,
my husband wants to be cool right now.
And there's we have Nita, the other admin. Her son didn't like the sound of the air conditioner and the heater before.
Oh, so that's
that would have been something.
Yeah, so that could be a real life application for
exactly. So she's like, okay, we're leaving the house. We're going to be gone for 20 minutes. I can run the heat finally. He's with me. Go back, and the house is heated up somewhat. He used to go and click it off every single time. So that is a convenient thing to be able to control that. So both systems, the panel, the phone. I love it. Let me see. And we don't have the thermostat, my husband says. And you can turn, you can have the control of your lights as well. So that's another, so there's somebody else in the group that every time before he gets ready to go to bed, he has to control all the lights. But so that's kind of a thing too, like say, if it was the opposite. So that just goes, I'm just saying that everybody has different, everyone's on the spectrum. Everybody has different things. Maybe your child wants their light on until they fall asleep, and then you go into the app. You don't want to disturb them, but you could turn off their, you can control the lights. I love this.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at other questions.
Yes, you can see the video on the panel.
Yep.
Yes.
And you don't need the energy stuff. You don't need it. You don't need to get it. It would just be, again, everything is customizable to what you need, which I think is really great.
Yes. And we have, we don't have that, I forgot my thought. We don't have the energy, but what was I going to say? It left. Let me see. Okay. The cameras. So we don't have the energy on ours. So there's some things, like I said, we customized it to what we needed. But the cameras, the footage on the camera, you asked if the videos on the panel, you can go live. I think you can even do playback on the panel, but playback is there unless you save it. So you can clip and save, like say 30 seconds or whatever you want to clip and save, you can save it. But if you don't save it, it will be there. I think it's 30 days on each. It'll always save the last 30 days. Yeah. So it's convenient. Sometimes I thought, oh, well, I got to go back and save that clip, before, it times out. But yeah, it's just, you can go back and you can save it. You can see things on the panel. It's there for 30 days. It's not like it shows you and then it's gone and you never see it again.
Right. Let's see.
So, and then the installer, the salesperson, not the salesperson, the installer will go over everything and they will discuss it with you. Make sure you're clear on everything before they leave. Support is awesome. I have to say that support, it's awesome. We haven't had any problems. We love our system. Yeah. So, awesome. Vivint is like top of the line. So, and I'm not biased. I'm just saying that, sometimes, we had another home alarm. I don't even remember the company, but we had nothing but problems. So, this was totally different. And, it's just been a breeze and a necessity. So, yes.
Yes, you can put the panel wherever you want it. Usually it's best in like a main area of the home, closest to the door that you enter and exit from the most, so that you can turn it on and off. Like if you were disarming the system, but yes, you can put it anywhere you want.
Yep. And we have ours in the middle of our downstairs. And I think I like that. Only personally, I like that because then I'm not standing next to the front door, next to who I'm checking to see is at the door.
That's a good point.
But everybody's different. But yeah, that's how I have mine. And I see my older kids; they're doing the same thing. They're creeping around the corner, looking at the panel, but not wanting to walk to the door yet because the person is still out there to get their food, whatever they're ordering, whatever. But yeah, so I. It's wherever you want that, as long as it's able to be there. They make things work. Like I said, I haven't had any problems. And I had ADT years ago. And it wasn't really any problems at all, but it wasn't this system. So it was a big difference.
And then security 24/7. Yeah, the system is monitored 24/7 with police, fire, and medical. So,
and I was told too when I was buying my system that your camera footage, your cameras are not accessible to Vivint.
Correct. That is correct. So the camera footage is only accessible to you.
And they even pointed out, even if I wanted to call and say, but I really need it. Yeah. So it's.
Yeah.
So that's it. It was peace of mind that we're not being watched in our home, listen, and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was good. That was good to know.
You could put your panel in the bedroom if you wanted to. Absolutely.
Like I said, I like it to be in the house because I don't want to have to walk all the way to the front door to who's on the other side of the door. I can do it like I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the family room, laundry room. I just turn around and look at the panel. Oh, okay, it was a package. Okay, it can sit out there for a second.
Yeah.
I don't have to run to the door. So yes. So if there's not any more questions, and everybody feel free to share this slide, and to share the phone number. 1-800-234-5678, very easy number. Code is Autism and Us, which also should be very memorable. And be sure to give the code Autism and Us to be able to receive this promo, this deal. So be sure to do that. Be sure to call this number, not looking up Vivint, but to call this specific number is specific to this promo. So to this promotion. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope I answered all the questions. I hope everybody feels like they heard some good things. I don't want to say like I'm walking around bragging, about my system. I love it, but I do love it. So hopefully what I said was beneficial and informative, and definitely I know what Holly was saying was informative. And we thank you so much, Holly, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we can't express how important safety is and safety prevention. So hopefully this won't be the only time that Holly's here. So hopefully we'll have Holly around.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And she is in our group too. So if you have any questions, post them in under this live, wherever you might see it. If you see it in one of the groups or YouTube or on the main page, post your comments, your questions, and we will get back to you. We will answer your questions. Holly will be around as well. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And remember, safety prevention. Thank you so much, Holly.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.